Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the UKLC. We're here, we're ready, and it's time for semi-final number 2. My name is Munchables, and this is Orcs. We're jumping into Phelan versus Fnatic. What a matchup.
Yeah, we had an upset yesterday when Phelan managed to topple M&M. They need another today against Fnatic Rising. Currently on number 2 team in the league, but trying to change that. And not only do they need to get through this game, they also need to win the bracket finals, sorry. And then the Tower Challenge up against XL this week and hold it next week if they want to secure that number 1 spot. Because right now, XL, they're in pretty good position to get that spot in the finals of Twickenham.
Yeah, they've got a big mountain ahead of them, but they have, you know, these roster issues. It's going to be difficult for them up against XL, but they have to win first to get there. Let's quickly just re-mention what was happening last game because we have our MVP from all of that action. Drumroll, please. It is going to be Vigo setting up Denvoxnate for success. His Morgana was clean. So, yeah, it was clean.
It's nice to see him get some recognition because obviously we had Denvoxnate as the MVP yesterday, and there's no AD carry on the support. You know, we all know that it's the Joe who do so much, and I think that's a big thing is that Denvoxnate has always been on Demise since they were in the promotion tournament, but Vigo was a late introduction. He was on one of the teams that got knocked out. He was on Darkspawn, and he's looked so good on this roster with Denvoxnate, and I think they really are the highlight part of Demise. They've given them so much success, so I'm happy to see them getting a lot of appreciation. MVP for Denvoxnate yesterday, MVP for Vigo today, and maybe another later on if they can beat whoever comes through the bracket out of Phelan and Fnatic.
And at this point, it's best of 3 between them, right? Denvoxnate's got one, Vigo's got one. Who gets the third MVP is the question at that stage, but we still have to get to that point. We'll see in the bracket final later on today. But first, we have to have our second semi-final. As I mentioned, as we jumped on into the show today, it's going to be Phelan Gaming going up against Fnatic Rising. Now, Phelan yesterday upset the apple cart just a little bit and managed to take down M&M to get to this point. This is a changed team. This is a team looking to prove themselves.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of parts of Phelan that I've seen a lot of success from. I think that Wisdom particularly has been such a standout player. Even up against the likes of XL, he made Jarnen's life hell, if I'm going to be honest. And Achu, he's had some good moments, particularly on the Sona, but the rest of the roster still, I have definitely seen them have moments where I thought, that's really solid, they look like a good player, but the consistency hasn't quite been there. They've definitely struggled, as a lot of teams have, for these first 5 weeks, but they managed to topple M&M, which only 2 other teams in the league have beaten M&M this split. And they're both sister teams.
One of those teams is Fnatic Rising. So now things are starting to heat up for Phelan. We'll see if they can keep this ball rolling as they move up against this opponent. Fnatic, we mentioned how their roster has been a bit of an issue for them, but they still looked fantastic yesterday. Speaking of rosters, let's take a look at Phelan Gaming to start this conversation off. It is going to be Bear Tree up in the top lane. Did an amazing job on Gangplank yesterday. We'll see if we can keep that up. Soft in the jungle. Chimera is going to be the mid laner. Achu is ADC, and Wisdom rounding it out in support.
Hopefully today we'll be able to unlock Bear Tree, but another team with a player not unlocked yet. We have Shakara in the top lane, NG in the jungle, Magi Felix mid, Xmati, AD carry, and Ronaldo in support.
Yeah, we'll see how many more games we need to play before we actually unlock that portrait and be able to get him in character select.
I miss playing games like that where you get the opportunity to unlock them.
They still exist, dude. You can go back.
I'm stuck here. You know, they keep me locked in the cage out back when we're not on
I actually did know that. Oh. That was my idea originally.
Wow, that hurts, but you have to have a little video for you just showing the end of Phelan's match against M&M and how hypey it was for the players.
I'll TP on it, I'll TP on it.
No, I take it, it's fine.
I'll TP on this, okay?
Guys, we end.
Keep going.
Keep going.
15 seconds.
Keep going, guys. Go for inhib only. Go for towers only. She can't do shit.
Guys, you got this.
Just hit.
Full hit.
Towers, full hit towers. Nexus. Come on, guys. Nexus.
Come on, Chimera.
Yes!
Let's go!
Nice.
You can hear the censorship coming in there. They were so hyped. They managed to get it. You heard this silence right before the Nexus goes down.
The anticipation.
So tense.
Yeah, and because it was so close, I wasn't sure Camaro would get the last torture in time, but a little bit of juking with the distortion, he's able to find it, and it was a close match against Eminem. For a lot of time, it looked like Eminem may have the edge, but there was a great team fight, and they were just like, this is enough. We can win with this. So I love the call. The communication from Wisdom there was huge as well, saying, we can do this, we can end.
Well, they did manage to end that one. And speaking of Wisdom, he is actually going to be one of our players to watch moving on into this matchup. It is going to be the support players as our matchup to watch. And Ronaldo stepping on in for Fnatic. We unlocked him! We just had to watch the replay. We unlocked the player.
We unlocked Ronaldo.
We did it.
Yes.
Can't wait to play him in solo queue. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, this is this support matchup. Ronaldo obviously stepping on in for Fnatic. He has big shoes to fill here. Up against Wisdom. Wisdom certainly played his heart out yesterday. How do you see this matchup panning out?
I think the experience definitely favors Wisdom. Storied support and a lot of synergy with Achu. That's a big reason why Phelan wanted to put them together on this roster. I remember I was speaking to their coach Connor at the start of the split, and he was like, Wisdom and Achu came to them and said, we want to play together. Build a roster around us, and we'll do our best. But on the other side, you have X-Matty, who overall has looked like a very solid AD carry, and then Ronaldo, in his debut in the support role, he actually looked very good. He looked very confident in the Rakan, a lot of mechanical skill, and I feel like the difference is that Wisdom has the weight of his whole team because he's also the shot caller. You can hear it there in the comms, how much he's providing. But on the other side, Ronaldo, he is there just to impact the game with his mechanics as much as possible. They have the likes of NG to sort of tell him what they need to be doing as a team. He needs to just lead them to victory through his plays.
Yeah, we'll see if that's going to be able to be the case. And up against Ronaldo as well. I'm excited to see what Ronaldo can do. It's obviously kind of a fresh face stepping on into the scene. But a fresh support is different to a fresh player in any other role, because the other roles, generally speaking, at least your solo laners and your carries, it's more about your mechanics, whereas support, quite often you have to step into that kind of shot calling role, and quite often you're one of the voices within the team. So I'm curious to see whether Ronaldo will step into that role or if he'll take more of a backseat when it comes to communication to start things off.
I honestly think that's one of the big reasons they put Ronaldo in instead of Prosper, because Prosper has always been a big communicator on his teams. But I feel like Fnatic didn't need that. They said, we do not need more communication. We have plenty. We need someone who is just mechanically as flawless as possible. And that's why they picked someone who has shown he can play so many different roles at the top level. And now he's given his hand in support. And a lot of players have done this before. You've seen the likes of Core JJ and Aframu switching roles, but very quickly getting into draft.
Even Yellow Star, he was an AD carry to start with way back when.
You are not wrong.
Let's catch up with what's been going on so far. Yasuo and Azir going to be banned away by Phelan Gaming. And that's going to be answered with a Karma and a Veigar over on the side of Fnatic Rising.
Yes, so Phelan played Veigar Pyke bot lane yesterday, and it will be banned away. Not want to deal with the power of that cage and also the raw burst. Does mean that Sona is still available. Other big picks like the Yuumi, like the Aurelia, like the Aatrox, the Akali are still available. And although the Azir has been taken off the cards for Magifelix, he was monstrous on the Corki yesterday.
Yeah, he was just destroying people yesterday on that Corki. And you know, Corki's such a safe pick as well. That's the beauty of it. If you get fed, you can hard carry a game. But even if your team isn't doing so hot during the early stages, you can stay very far back, farm from a distance with your rockets, and you don't have to get in too much trouble. But it's going to be Kiana for the final ban, which means now Phelan have to decide where they're going with this first pick. But there's a lot of power picks open.
One of the big ones for me is that you could go towards that the Sona plus X bot lane. Sona Tom is what Phelan have been playing. But instead, it looks like they want to deny away from Magifelix. They didn't give him Azir in the bans. They're denying him the Corki and the picks. That does mean they leave the Lovers duo, which is something that Ronaldo and Matty picked up yesterday and had a ton of success on.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to lock that one straight in there. So immediately, both Phelan and Fnatic going for some of the damage from their composition. And I'm curious to see what else is going to be prioritized, because just like in the game before, we've still got things like the Aurelia, things like the Akali, things like the Aatrox are available to be locked in. And they are incredibly powerful champions if you can find the right composition.
Absolutely. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see a Sona Tom come out right here and now from Phelan, but it looks like they want more aggression in the bot lane. So they go for that Pyke. For Wisdom, he had a lot of success on that yesterday. is up against a difficult lane matchup with the Lovers duo for Matty Ronaldo, and now comes down to what are they going to lock in for their pick here. A jungler could be a safe option. I'd be tentative to pick a top laner right now, but it looks like they're going to pick a flex, so it could go top, could go jungle. If they do lock this in, it's powerful in both, but you do leave Fnatic Rise in a position where they can take a pick and then ban away anything they don't want to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Aatrox going to be that lock-in, and now Magic Felix instantly starts hovering things. We'll see if he's going to lock any of them in just yet, but the Pyke as well for Wisdom. Yesterday we saw Wisdom on Pyke. Phenomenal player, did some crazy... I mean, the Baron fight that just about ended the game, we saw him getting that Pyke over the wall, predicting the positioning of his opponent and getting the kill. I'm excited to see him with his hands on that champion once again, but it's Magic Felix now locking in that Aurelia, and he could well be the pilot for that one too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he could play it or Shikari could play it. Based on their recent champion pools, Shikari hasn't been as versed on these sort of melee bruisers.
Yeah.
Has been more akin to play things like the Kennen that can offer a lot of harassment and team fight potential, but Magic Felix on the Aurelia would be very hard to deal with. And Chimera, even on this Corki, which has some safety, you're still going to struggle to go toe-to-toe with one of our strongest mid laners in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Magic Felix, he's played in the LEC, sorry, and, you know, this is a guy with a lot of history behind him. This is a guy, everyone talks about how many solo queue accounts he's managed to get into top 10. Like, this is a guy that
11.
knows how to play. Well, it's 11. But he's got 11 accounts in top 10.
Yeah.
Simultaneously?
Yeah.
How is it possible?
So much power.
What does the scouter say about his power level? 11. Well, Kennen and Ezreal are going to be the bans coming on through here so far in this phase. And I'm curious to see what direction these guys want to go with. I mean, Fnatic, they're going to be the ones with the next pick. What does Phelan have to ban away from them to try and set themselves up for success?
I mean, I think you have a lot of options. One of the limitations is that there are no junglers picked by either side, so you can't really focus too much on the jungle bans. I think they expect to see the Aurelia in the mid lane, so focusing Shikari's pool, definitely something that can be done well. Nara's a possibility if you're afraid of something with a lot of harass, but Fiora is the age-old counter to Aatrox. So if you're concerned about that, to be just a massive menace in the split push and potentially in the 1-3-1, you could take that off the card, but I like the ban away from the Sejuani. The first pick was available to Fnatic Rising. If they got their hands on that, it has so much synergy with the Aurelia, and I feel like Chimera would just struggle too much to go up against that.
See how Chimera is going to go up against Magic Felix in that mid lane. It's going to be a tough challenge for him. So Sejuani banned away, and Gragas immediately locked in for that jungle position there for Fnatic. And their last pick may well determine where these positions are going to go. But then again, it might still be up in the air in the current meta.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a couple of picks you can take in the top lane that would flex really well with the Aurelia, and it would leave things really difficult to call. I do think there's going to be a mid lane Aurelia, but speaking of flexibility, we've made a lot of assumptions that this Corki is going to be mid lane.
That's true.
It is absolutely not a given. I think this LeBlanc pick, we know it isn't going to be the case. Chimera want to take the LeBlanc into the Aurelia. If they have that matchup, LeBlanc does have the advantage. You're unable to reduce her burst damage by channeling your W. I do, however, want to see Phelan, if they round out their composition with a jungler here now, pick something that has AD damage. Because last time we saw a LeBlanc into an Aurelia, there was an Elise, and she just built Wit's End and became too bulky to deal with. And Soft going to go for one of his signatures, the Lee Sin.
Yeah, here we go.
To get some slight buffs on this patch, a bit more damage on that Sonic Wave.
Look at that win rate, though, 71%.
That's pretty hypey, but it is a pick Soft has loved to play. He played a lot last split, and it means that you have a lot of aggression in this mid jungle. Magic Felix, if you go that Wit's End first, you're still going to be able to get bursted by this combo. Now the final pick to come through will be Poppy.
Wow.
For Shikari.
So you'd assume that goes to the top lane, really, and Aurelia will be in that mid lane for Magic Felix
100%.
here.
This is a textbook Shikari pick to negate pressure, and one of the big changes that actually help her in the Aatrox matchup is now that her W grounds if you interrupt a mobility. It means if he starts to use some of his mobility moves, then he's going to be grounded. He can't use any more. He also gets slowed. This means you're in a pretty comfortable position to kite him out.
Now, I will say, they did take a wild trading there. I thought maybe we could see the Rakan top. That would be something to behold. It would be interesting. You're absolutely right. But I want to talk about this composition from the likes of Phelan Gaming, though, because we've got a very aggressive jungler for soft, but we also have very snowbally lanes in all 3 lanes. Aatrox can get the ball rolling. LeBlanc can tear a game apart by herself, but Corki as well. Once you get to that Triforce, spikes massively. So there is potential that Phelan, if they can start things off correctly right in the early game, they actually could get the game pace going so fast that Fnatic can't answer.
And the big thing for me is, as you said, the LeBlanc and the Lee Sin, this jungle mid, are so powerful in the early levels. I want to see them try and take over the mid area and expand the control outwards. Because as you said, if you snowball a Corki to Pyke, they will get really far ahead. If you snowball an Aatrox, he'll be a monster in team fights. But it all has to start in that mid lane. You need the mid and jungle to find some traction and expand that outwards. I think for the other side, Fnatic, if they get to the later stages and this hasn't happened, they're going to be in a pretty comfortable position. They have a great front line. They have a great amount of DPS coming out from Xmati and the Aurelia as well.
Yeah.
And they have a ton of CC. So a front-to-back team fight is going to be very difficult for them to handle because when it gets late, if the teams are even, Phelan have to find access to Xmati. But on the back of all their CC, all their disengage, and crucially his ult, going to struggle.
Especially if he manages to find a stopwatch as well. Manages to find if he spends money to get a stopwatch. Also puts an extra spanner in the works. But also, I do want to mention the fact that we have Magifelix on Aurelia, right? It's always possible that he just gets a kill early, just starts roaming around the map, picking up kills, and immediately the game is pretty much over at that stage.
And that's the thing, is that if NG finds a counter gank mid, not only does it kill Phelan's win condition, but it snowballs one of the best players in the league. We saw how monstrous he has been on Azir against XL. We saw him on Corki yesterday, and he farmed up a Storm. But today, he's on Aurelia. He's on a proactive champion where you want to go aggressive. And I hope to see it.
Yeah, I hope we get to see some all-ins in that mid lane. And it's time that we find out for sure as we jump onto Summoner's Rift once again for the 2nd time today. In our 2nd semi-final here. It's Phelan Gaming on our blue side up against Fnatic Rising on the red. And we'll see how this mid lane is going to go. But don't forget, the matchup to watch for this one is going to be Wisdom up against Ronaldo in that support role. We've got Wisdom on the Pyke, and we've got Ronaldo on the Rakan. Both of them hard engaged champions. So we should see a pretty hypey lane down there.
A lot of skill expression is the big thing for me. I feel like you're not tanky on either of these champions. You have to play around your mobility and your CC for pseudo-tankiness. And you also have such a high potential. A massive CC engage from Ronaldo, getting the huge charms and the knock-up. You can carry a team fight in a game. But the same for Wisdom. If you hook the right person and then you execute them and get reset after reset, it's one of those situations where these aren't typical supports where you just help your early carry do their thing and hope for the best. These are supports where they can really look to carry the game, and that's why it's our matchup to watch.
Well, they're going to be starting things off with Soft on the red buff, so Wisdom and Achu will give him a leash, which gives Matty and Ronaldo a little bit of priority down in that bottom lane, but I wouldn't expect it to affect the laning phase too much, as NG did start on that top side, but the XP will be picked up by Achu and Wisdom, so they shouldn't be behind on getting level 2. Very aggressive positioning from Ronaldo, though.
Yeah, the level 1 from the Lovers Duo is pretty influential. Level 3 is the other big spike from them. I feel like in the early levels, you do have to respect it somewhat. You're not going to be as strong on this Corki and this Pyke. Pyke can be vulnerable if you overstep, and Corki, not the best early game impact champion, but the reason you pick him is a lot of his safety, and actually...
There we go, knock-up comes through. Achu already having to flash out of the situation. Matty just hit level 2. And we'll be able to get a lot of damage out, but only one summoner burn.
Just a lot of lack of respect coming out from Phelan's bot lane. You should be very aware of when they're going to hit level 2. Didn't respect it. Ronaldo jumped straight in. And this is why they're putting him in the support lane. It was flawless. He managed to get the knock-up on Achu. No way he could get out of that one. And Flash is forced so early. And now they're going to be on the back foot.
You see Chimera, very strong positioning in this lane. Can stand so far up because he's on that. LeBlanc does have the jump. If someone, specifically NG, did come on into the lane, he's going to be safe. But also wants to be able to zone Magifelix away as much as possible. Magifelix has been doing a great job of CSing so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Clean CS is Magifelix by all means. Always likes to keep those numbers up as high as possible. things get a bit difficult on the bot lane. The flash being down, but also just the early pressure. The Zyricon, problematic. And you see the top lane, Beartree has the priority, but in terms of trades...
Oh, Shikari going to be pulled back on in here. But we'll be able to get away with his W there, just charging off in the name of Demacia. But Beartree doing a good job of layering that pressure onto the Poppy. But once items start to come in, it'll be very difficult for him to find kills onto that tanky little Yordle.
Yeah, absolutely. The sustain is going to be a massive thing later on, though. Shikari will eventually get to the point where he just lacks the damage to be able to take out that Aatrox and Soft. He might be looking for something here, but that steadfast presence could be very problematic here.
Now, we saw Soft yesterday on the Elise making things happen in the early game. Now on the Lee Sin, another aggressive ganking jungler. It's something he's played a lot in the past. He's head up towards that top side to try and make things happen. Gets spotted out and will have to back away, but it's good to see him already focusing on trying to get into the lanes. But NG doing the exact same thing on the other side. Wisdom not quite going to find his mark, though, with his Q.
Yeah, expected NG to try and dodge away, but instead he holds strong. Doesn't do much to affect the lane, but just applies a bit of pressure and keeps the fear of a gank there. Look, actually does come in, and Ronaldo at the same time looks for an engage. Does stop NG's recall. Buys a little bit of time, but nothing too influential. And now the lane is starting to push out. So this is where things get a bit more dangerous for Phelan, because their bot lane don't really want to fight. Oh, actually Ronaldo
has to flash away there. We'll be able to get some shields onto Matty, though. Keeps his AD carry safe as well. Matty just going to be focusing on trying to clear this wave out. They could actually freeze this pretty far up the lane right now. Make life a little bit harder for Achu and Wisdom.
I think the risk is, though, Ronaldo, if he tries to walk up once again, that hook from Wisdom, it catches him out with that flash. You can be very vulnerable. You are squishy. Have to be careful.
Oh, the ward will get taken out by Wisdom and Achu there. Really unfortunate for the likes of Matty and Ronaldo, but the knock-up onto both of them. Achu's going to be the one in trouble. Blade Caller will be available, and it's going to be First Blood going the way of ex-Matty. They don't want any more. They know Soft's on his way. They're just going to back away with First Blood.
And a great 2v2 play. I feel like Phelan got a bit overconfident because they managed to get that flash from Ronaldo. Trying to force the wave into the tower to reset does pay dearly. Matty and Ronaldo punished excellently, and now the advantage is starting to build up. Sheen picked up by Achu. In reverse, Matty should be able to back fairly soon and get a full BF sword, if not more.
Now, I want to mention that we were talking about Magifelix's CS at the start of this game. We were saying how he was doing a good job maintaining an even CS number up against a ranged carry. But he's actually 20 CS up at 6 minutes. That is a monstrous lead to have pulled out in a lane.
Absolutely is. Especially considering the advantage should be towards that LeBlanc. Obviously, CSN isn't the easiest thing in LeBlanc, but you should have the pressure advantage. You should be able to punish the Aurelia if she queues up on the wave. Just hasn't been able to find it yet.
Oh, pull down onto Matty right here. Ronaldo does get the knockup. Achu very low. And there's the knockup from NG. He's going to finish the kill as well. And already, Achu not having a very fun game. All in could be coming out from Magifelix here. His jungler is nearby though. As Chimera gets away and Soft finishes off the kill. Magifelix shut down.
And this is the punish you want to see coming out from Phelan. Magifelix steps up, looks for a heavy trade with LeBlanc, and Soft is there to punish. And we said it before the game. It needs to come from this mid lane. And now, if Chimera starts to get ahead, if they start to shut down Magifelix, roams are desperately needed towards his bot lane. 0-2-0 so far for Achu. He's picked something scaling, and Fnatic said, you don't have time to build up some items.
They certainly don't so far, but Sheen enough will be able to help him out if we do see some roams from Chimera, from Soft down towards that bottom side. Sheen Corki still does a good amount of burst damage if you can land your rockets, if you can land that Q as well. But also, Wisdom is going to be there. Once he hits level 6, the damage will be available.
Absolutely, but the issue is going up against the likes of Xmighty, who has a BF sword, double longsword Dorans. Sure, those Sheen procs can do a lot, but the autos from Matty will just absolutely burn through any health bar.
We'll have to see how this bot lane is going to continue to pan out, but honestly, we need to see a little bit more respect coming out from Phelan Gaming up against the likes of Matty and Ronaldo. And Ronaldo really has been the story of this lane so far. He's been able to just control these brushes, and every time Achu steps up just a little bit too far, Ronaldo is more than happy to punish the little helicopter and take him on out of the sky.
Yeah, and level 6 now available. The quickness is there. An extra level of CC that can be used to shut down Achu. He has to play carefully here, but Flash available once again. Did burn that on the level 2 spike coming out from the Lovers duo. Soft is wanting to play around mid lane. This wave is pushing in, so this could be the opportunity for them to go for the roam. Magifelix has to catch this wave on a tower, and they can easily just path down towards bot. I think their first focus is going to be clear out some of this vision that Fnatic have established in the river.
And this is the power of control wards. It takes so long to take that vision out, but they will be able to do so, and maybe next time they can set this up and look for a fight. But actually, they might have just got a pinch here onto Ronaldo and Matty. Chimera going to be on the front line. Matty instantly has to use that ultimate. In goes Achu, though, with the jump forward. Chimera going to try and chase this one down. Wisdom has been pushed way too deep. Does not have his ultimate available. Will go down. And in the meantime, Magifelix is getting onto Sop. He's got himself a double kill. That is dreadful news for Phelan. Phenomenal fight for Fnatic.
And Phelan, just like Enclave yesterday, are baited in. They see the low health bar of Maddie. They try to chase way too deep, and Fnatic punished. They are so good in these skirmishes, and despite the advantage Phelan thought they had, they get punished once again.
Oh, Achu just about gets away with his life there. Very narrowly avoiding the engage from Ronaldo. And Ronaldo's been doing such a fantastic job this game. 0-0-5, 100% kill participation at this point. Phelan looking for a pick off the back of the fight, but I don't know if they're going to be able to find it. NG will body slam himself away and will get away with it as well. Soft not going to be able to find the target. Unfortunate situation here for Phelan.
That's another big talking point of this game is look at NG, level 8 on this Gragas, farmed up a Storm, and Soft on a jungler who needs to make early presence. Level 6 in comparison. He has just hit level 7, but he is really falling far behind in this jungle matchup, and we talked about the mid jungle being important. Both of them are down in CS, down in kill participation. They are just struggling right now.
They really are. And the question will be who on the side of Phelan can pull things together right now? Who's going to be the one to step up if Phelan wants to be able to take this victory? NG going to be waiting in the bush, though, alongside Ronaldo. They want to find Chimera if they can, but not going to make a move on this one just yet. They want someone to face check. And they're actually going to go on it. Chimera finally steps on forward, and Magifelix will be there to finish this one off. Chimera decides to donate the kill over to NG, gets away from Magifelix.
It's probably the best case scenario, but you were caught out completely. One thing you can do is say, Gragas, you take the gold instead of the Aurelia, but it's still not a great situation to be in. And that's one thing that is absolutely true, is that a behind the LeBlanc will feel nearly useless. Magifelix not even needing to go towards a wit's end because there's so much presence in a lane that he should lose. It's a winning matchup for LeBlanc, but oh.
Here we go, another fight coming on in. Wisdom going to be charmed up and finished off immediately. Just annihilated. Achu and Soft, there's nothing they can do about this one. Soft looking to try and steal this Rift Herald, but there's no way he can follow up on that Sonic Wave. And that's going to be comfortably taken by NG. And things are just getting from bad to worse for Phelan Gaming right now. 5,000 is the gold lead as Magifelix setting up to siege in this mid lane.
Yeah, massive goal lead already. They've blown this game open, and it's going to get really difficult to win from this point. The mid jungle has failed. The bot lane is getting crushed, and Chimera, he might be in trouble there. He's able to get away, but Fnatic, they are looking to secure some objectives to back up their kill lead. Wisdom, though, he's heading down. TP's coming in.
They want to make something happen here. Matty dodges away from the hook. Ronaldo gets a knock up onto one, and they are doing a good job of staying as a group, making things happen right now. Shikari's gone on in this Poppy. He's going to be the front line for them, and Wisdom is the first one to drop. Bear Tree out of position now, knocked by the cask. And onto the tower they go. One kill already for Fnatic. Ronaldo now getting pushed back. He looks for the knock-up, but actually gets chunked on out there. Will have to back away, but no kills going the way of Phelan. It's a kill in a tower for Fnatic.
Yeah, they do finally get that tower down, and it's a massive amount of gold they're able to pick up. It's still pre-14 minutes. They're still got a lot of plates, and you can see it there. 2,000 gold lead. in the mid lane, 2,000 between the 80 carries, and even 1,300 between the supports. And this is up against a Pyke, someone who you normally expect to lead the gold race against another support. But when you're 0-3-0, none of those ults have been able to come in. You've got no cuts from that.
Yeah.
And it's just not looking good right now for Phelan.
You know, we were talking about the gold share coming out from Pikes yesterday. We were talking about how much you usually get, how much we were getting in different games, 900, 1,200. This game so far, it's 0 gold share coming out from the Pyke. Not any assists, not any kills. And it's a really difficult situation to find yourself in. It's one of those champions that needs to snowball. Betri and Magic Felix sparring in the top lane here. Neither of them really able to commit to an all-in just yet.
Yeah, but there's some help coming in for Magi Felix. Betri, he's going to check this brush.
Uh-oh, he's in trouble. There's the knockup. NG going to follow up on this one. They don't even need Magic Felix. Gragas more than capable of giving him the belly bop. He's got a 400 gold bounty to talk about himself.
Yeah, and this has been the big talking point of Ronaldo coming in, is NG and him play so well together. They just move around the map consistently, finding kills and objectives everywhere they go. And it's so oppressive to deal with because no matter how confident you feel in a 1v1 matchup, or maybe in 1v2, Fnatic, they make it a 1v3 because their support jungle always turn up and make your life difficult.
Yeah, just such great presence from Fnatic. They're always in the right place at the right time. They always know where the action is going to be happening because they're the ones starting the action. They're the ones initiating all of these fights. And it's up to Phelan now to try and predict what Fnatic are going to do. Try and match the number of players. But I fear that it may be already too late at this point. The gold lead's starting to get insurmountable.
Yeah, but there is a big objective coming up. Infernal Dragon. I feel like Phelan aren't in the position to contest this, but they are trying to get some vision in that area. Fnatic quickly moving to discourage them. That Dragon, do you have the package?
Yeah, they look like they want to contest this one. Whether it's wise or not is a whole different thing. But if you can get an early pick, if you can take Matty out before the fight starts, if you can take out Magi Felix, for example, that could be enough for them to turn a fight around. And just one miracle fight is all they need to flip this game right on its head.
Yeah, but I don't think this is going to be the one. They are so far behind in gold. I think Soft might look for a steal. Outside of that, very limited amount you can do. And
does land the Q. Is not going to follow up, though. And Chimera is going to be going down on this one as well. It's actually Ronaldo that picks up the kill in the end, and it's 1-10 now. This is a dominant lead from Fnatic.
yeah, and Shikari's so clean there, just shutting down Chimera. And one thing we haven't talked about massively of how much the Poppy really shut... Oh, wait, see the fight come in?
Actually a little bit too far forward right now. Soft's there, Wisdom as well. Should be able to get the ultimate. That's a huge shutdown in Wisdom's pocket. 700 gold. Ronaldo does get a double knockup, and that's going to mean him and Shikari should be able to walk away from this one. But the question is, what's happening in the other lanes in the meantime?
Ooh, ult doesn't quite connect. I think Wisdom was trying to close the gap if he did land on Ronaldo. They do get a massive shutdown. That's a ton of gold, but still massively far behind. Fnatic showing a little mistake, but it may not be enough for Phelan to really get a grip back on this game.
If they could have turned that into more, it could have been magnificent. But Ronaldo doing just such a fantastic job so far this game. The double knockup there, and then dashes back over to his teammate to get them on out to safety. Just really, really fantastic play coming out from him. And it's exciting to see someone fresh on the team in a support role as well and doing such a magnificent job.
Yeah, he crushed lane, found advantages from level 1, and now he's just been everywhere on the map. 208, 100% kill participation, showing why Fnatic opted to put him in the support role. He's been performing spectacularly, but now Phelan, they might be looking for Magi Felix.
Yeah, Magi Felix is going to be in a bit of trouble. Does have a huge amount of damage, though. Let's not forget that. And Soft is going to be charmed and immediately finished off. Look at Ronaldo. Always knows where to be. NG's coming too. Knocks Betri straight back into the fight. The CC is there. He will have to flash away. Chimera, though, is actually going to be able to turn things around. Gets one kill. But here comes X-Matty. Double kill immediately. And everything looking fantastic for Fnatic.
Yeah, X-Matty crushes that. He comes in late, but it's enough just to shut down any hope Phelan had of getting outside that one favorably. You take out NG again, but it's a small consolation prize. And he's now picked up that full Zhonya, so it won't be as easy a target going forwards. Fnatic still very much in control of this game.
They certainly are, and this is the difficult thing, is when you get this far behind, it takes you so long to kill someone when you do find that pick, that the rest of the team has so much time to collapse.
We do Shikari.
Oh, Shikari wants a 1v1 right now, and he might just find it onto a Chew. Narrowly survives. But now look, Soft and Wisdom, they want to find this kill. They may even be able to find it. But in the meantime, there's so much going on the rest of the map. Fnatic are going to be able to stall forever with Shikari. He's so tanky already, and now Matty's arrived as well. He's not afraid of these tanks. He's not afraid of Lee Sin and Pyke. What AD carry would be afraid of Lee Sin and Pyke?
Certainly not this Xayah, who is 5-0 right now, crushing everyone who comes nearer. Got that massive 2-item spike and Phelan. Gonna try and defend this tower, but you have to be so scared of Shikari. If he dashes into you, that steadfast presence just stops any mobility. And the grounding as well. If you interrupt the dash from Chimera, he can't just go back to his distortion because he will be grounded. Yeah. So difficult to play around these team fights because if you can't get onto X-Matter, you will lose. And there's so much from Fnatic to stop that from happening. 12,000 gold lead nearly. Just going up to 20 minutes. This is a much more proactive early game than we've seen from Fnatic in the past few weeks. For a lot of time, they were sort of the slow burn team. The leads didn't really come in till that 20 minutes onwards point, but now they just put so much pedal to the metal.
And just look at the gold differences, right? You have a 70 CS lead in that mid lane, and that's translated to 4,000 gold. And in the bottom lane, similar story here, 40 CS lead, but it's a 4,000 gold lead. That's more than the most expensive tier 3 item in the game. It's just so difficult in these fights to be able to out DPS such terrifying carries.
And you see it in the builds. Just look at Maddie's items. He's got 3. He's got Infinity as Essence Fever, Rapid Fire, and Soft's about to feel that.
Soft. Yeah, that's a lot of damage going through. And NG, once again, grabbing yet another kill. NG has actually done a lot of damage this game himself. He's building a lot of AP, and we've seen his barrels actually really starting to chunk people out. They have been all game, to be quite honest. He's been so proactive for the side of Fnatic. And now Baron just started straight up. They managed to get the jungler, so there's not a whole lot that Phelan can do about this one. If they try and contest, it might just be suicide at this stage. This is going to be smiteable very comfortably, and well, Chimera wants to make the magic happen, but it's not happening today.
You have to go for it. It's a slim chance of working, but at this point, a Baron seal is all you can hope for. 14,000 gold down. Baron buff for Fnatic. Massive level leads as well. They are crushing this game, and Phelan, they can almost regret beating M&M because of the wrath they're facing now.
And we gotta talk about the... Oh, here we go, actually. Fight kicking off. Bear Tree gonna be the first target. Immediately deleted. Soft will jump away with his life. Wisdom gonna join him as well. But, well, yet another pick for Fnatic. And the guy I want to talk about is Ronaldo right now. He stepped on in replacing Prosper, and we're talking about this new version of Fnatic. Shikari's still going to be in the roster for today. He's going to be changing out next week. But it doesn't feel like Ronaldo stepping in has hurt this roster at all. Ronaldo has been instrumental here today, and his Rakan has looked just magnificent.
Yeah, and this is the big reason they looked from. They wanted someone who is very mechanically skilled to just find advantages across the map, and so far he's delivered. Matty might be in trouble, though.
Matty's been caught, though. Look at the break! Call of that is insane. Gets 2 kills. He had no right to, and Soft now runs for his life. He's getting chased down by the support. Ronaldo himself wants to finish off. He wants to avenge his AD carry right here. They had a perfect game as a bot lane right up until then. Soft actually finds a way over the wall.
There's no good choice.
You don't want that one either, my friend. NG tries to jump over. It's not going to happen, but the barrel will finish the job. And now this is going to be all 3 inhibs going down. Or maybe they'll just end the game after 2. Fnatic have got this one done and dusted. Fight kicks off once again as the turret starts to get focused on. Out Wisdom just about escapes with his life. NG goes golden as Chimera uses all of his cooldowns. Here we go, 1 kill onto Ronaldo though. There's only 3 Fnatic members left. This might be enough to push them away here. Bear Tree trying to engage onto Shikari and Magifelix.
Yeah, Chimera's looking.
Searching for something right here. I don't know if they can actually win this 3v4.
from behind.
TP's coming on in. Chimera goes down. Wisdom will be the next target, but he actually gets a kill before dropping. But Magic Felix with a triple kill. Achu is going to
be a
drop
quadra.
as well. That's the quadra kill coming through for Magic Felix. Anyone questioning his prowess here in the UKLC is just going to be out of sorts. Magic Felix, I'd be surprised if they don't dive for the pentakill right here. Shikari going to be the first one going on in. Here we go. Can he get it? The answer's no. The shutdown for Soft. And Magic Felix falls apart. But in the end, Fnatic Rising, they're going to take the victory.
It's a small victory for Phelan to deny that, but it's something. It's one of the only
sure it
things
was
they denied them
satisfying.
that whole game. Would have been the first penta of the UKLC. We've had 2 denied, one by teammates for Chibs and one there by the other team. But Fnatic, that was probably the best play Phelan were able to make the whole game.
Yeah,
Was that denying the penta under the Nexus,
unfortunate.
under the Fountain, sorry, and it shows the state of that game. Fnatic just absolutely crushed it. The bot lane had such a lead early, and then it just ballooned from there. And one-sided is all I can really say.
And once again, massive props to Ronaldo, setting this bot lane up for success, doing such a good job in the early game, multiple times getting double knockups, setting Matty up to get fed. Magic Felix doing a great job in the mid lane as well. People that were questioning whether Fnatic Rising would be looking strong with the new version of the roster, with the new support coming in, they're still looking on top.
But the big test is they're going to face Demise in our finals, which will be after the break. Still, not quite the tower challenge up against Excel, but it is going to be a match they have to take seriously because Demise, they looked great. They looked like they had a one-sided performance in their match. And now Fnatic have looked one-sided in theirs. It come down to who's the strongest team. A lot of people would say Fnatic, and I would probably agree, but we've seen crazier things.
We have seen crazier things. Barrage, unfortunately, did go down earlier up against Demise, but Demise looked absolutely fantastic in their game. And I don't want to sugarcoat too much. Demise definitely the underdogs up against Fnatic Rising. When you look at the standings, when you look at the past results, Demise have their work cut out in that matchup. And, you know, I want to say with this new roster, maybe Fnatic's at a weaker stage. It doesn't feel that way. Fnatic look on top of everything. Ronaldo is going to be there. And both games, right? Both semifinals so far, it was all about the bot lane getting ahead. We'll see which bot lane is going to have the best of it in our finals.
Yeah, that's going to be the big fight because Vigo and Denvoxne, despite their placement as a middle of the pack team, they've looked like one of the stronger bot lanes in the whole league. If they get the right matchup, if they're able to bring the fight to Fnatic, they could definitely deliver. But X-Matty and Ronaldo, that point where you thought X-Matty was called out and he just insta-killed 2 members. He was such a massive threat, and the goal difference was just staggering.
The power of Xayah as well, being able to use that ultimate to dodge away from the damage. Phenomenal stuff. And Matty excellently played on that Xayah. Well, that's going to be it for semi-final 2. We're going to jump into the bracket final, though, following this break. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.